actually get some agreement in the United States Senate tomorrow in that Facebook is terrible.
Well, certainly Republicans and Democrats have demonstrated for some time now that social media is their favorite punching bag. They love social media because it helps them amplify their message. It helps them raise money, helps them do all this other stuff. There's sort of nothing more in this American moment that could be more perfect than the fact that people use social media to complain about social media so they get clicks, likes, and campaign contributions to talk about it. It is the kind of issue that politicians love.
Do they love it also because it's sort of an unsolvable one that they can complain about and, as you point out, raise money about, but actually can't do much about? Or does tomorrow's hearing mean something beyond fundraising emails?
So the consensus that was reached, there's a lot of issues that fall into this category. Immigration is one that's notable, but there are several others that politicians decided a while ago that there's consensus that there's a problem, but they don't want to solve it. It's not in their interest to solve these problems or address these problems in a realistic way because it's just a good issue for them. It works well for them. Democrats want to break up these companies. They want to use antitrust laws to break up the companies, whereas Republicans want to use regulation, or that has been their tendency, to want to use regulation to threaten to control who gets on and who doesn't get on to these platforms. And in both cases, it's unlikely there'll ever be consensus about what to do, but there will be consensus that this is a good thing to yap about. This is a good thing to hold hearings about, because guess what? People will talk about it where? On social media.
From the sublime to the ridiculous. Jen Psaki from the White House podium today talking about it. Take a listen to your point.
In our view, this is just the latest in a series of revelations about social media platforms that make clear that self-regulation is not working.
You and I have talked about this a lot. The White House needs a win of some type right now. Is there any kind of win that comes out of tomorrow's hearing for Democrats that the White House then can pick up?
So look, tobacco, fast food, we could list all of the demons that American politicians, usually on the left, sometimes on the right, have talked about, are just crying out for regulation. They need regulation because they're making their product too attractive. Doesn't McDonald's know how delicious its cheeseburgers are? Don't people understand that these products are too good for Americans to resist? But I will tell you something right now. If we are too far gone as a people to be able to withstand the appeals of Mark Zuckerberg and Instagram, it's too late for everything anyway. The idea that these companies have to be regulated into providing a product that is less attractive, well, there's a lot on television. There's a lot in a lot of places that is too attractive. There are a lot of things that Americans engage in that are not good for them. This idea that these places must be regulated is a reflection of a battle for the future between the left and the right over who gets to control social media. Very few people are raising the voice that maybe none of these people are in a good position to control what we see, what we read, and how we consume it.
A good place to end, Mr. Steyerwalt. Good to see you, sir. Happy Monday.
You bet.
All right. Well, Facebook is facing a pretty